Shoot, draw me being like, I want to see a fan draw me getting lifted by Bakool Ja Ja in a Dirty Dancing moment. But please be generous on my part of the drawing. Please. Make me look good, please.
Welcome back to Side Quests and Save Points. So grab a drink, roll for charisma, and let's carry on. In part 2, things are going to get even more unhinged as Javier shares behind the scenes chaos of voice acting, misdirection, fan reactions, imposter syndrome, and the ongoing mystery of how a single NPC managed to break the internet. We're talking fame, fandoms, and flaming dialogue takes, sometimes literally, so let's jump back into it. Speaking of your character taking off, that happened very quickly. For multiple reasons. What was that like? Like, don't get me wrong, the character is absolutely fantastic, and out of all the characters in that game, and again, no disrespect to you or the character, how that one turned into a thirst trap character, I have no idea. But what is it like receiving that sort of attention to something that you have portrayed?
I'll say this. It was always in the back of my mind that it could happen because obviously the director and the localization team have been doing this game for a long time. So
yes,
I remember right after we recorded the cenote scene, they both said, don't take this the wrong way, but based on your performance and some things that we've seen, there is a possibility that you can become a favorite. There is a possibility that people will respond quite aggressively positively to what you're doing. And I was like, well, thank goodness you told me this now and not before I performed, because I don't want the added pressure. Because that would be a lot of pressure to all be like, oh, now I have to be really good. I mean, thankfully, after the cenote, you know, it's like, it's more linear for his character a little bit more. So I didn't see coming to that extent whatsoever. That was I'll say it like this. I mean, I think people gravitating, connecting, finding comfort or support or like this passionate feeling towards characters is one of the most beautiful things you can have as an actor, is that people have an emotional response. I always said, I was like, I played Bakool Ja Ja in the beginning as an evil person. My reference for me to play this character is Icarus. I wanted Bakool Ja Ja to fly as close as he can to the sun, be as gruesome, be as forward about what his intentions and evil as he can, so that fall is so much sweeter. So people always tell me they hated my character so much, and then they love my character. I'm like, I love that. Please, if you hate my character, amazing. I did my job well, because that was the goal of me. The goal of mine. The goal of mine was for you to hate this character in the beginning, and then maybe hate him or not hate him, because he does horrible things, and then eventually redeems. But does he really? Because is it enough? And that's something, another conversation for me that I always have with the directors and always have with myself playing this character. Anyway, but the thirst, right? People having these responses, I feel like people are allowed to have and feel whatever they want towards a character. In my opinion, as long as it doesn't harm others, as long as it doesn't insult others, as long as it's done in a way that's kindness forward, empathetic forward. And if your thirst is very, very intense, as long as there's, empathy towards others, and you have the awareness that others can also feel this way, hey, who am I to stop someone else from loving my character?
Yeah.
Like, it's been an overwhelming positive review. It's been an overwhelming positive feeling, support from fans, from lovers of the game. No one has come out and said, and no one has come out and be like, it's you that I like. You know, it's like, I'm obsessed over you. It's like, I feel like because I play such a character, like if it was performance capture and it was my likeness and everything was really similar to me, it would be maybe a little bit more weirder for me to understand, like for me to, but because it's a two-headed lizard that sounds so different than how I normally sound, like, and it's very different than me, I'm like, I'm able to like disassociate a little bit from the thirst of my character, and if there's a thirst for me, I'm like, so thirst for the character, I'm like, hey, you go, you enjoy yourself. I'm not here to stop you. But it's not like it was like a thirst of like, I became like the sexualized being, all that. I'm like, I didn't become that. So for me, it's like, it's not Javier, it's this character. So there's a disassociation that allows me to be okay and not feel like I'm personally attacked, like I'm personally attached in that way. If that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I feel the way you want to feel. I'm not here to stop your experience.
Yeah.
And also, like, please keep feeling more, because hopefully they write more things for me. So keep feeling that. Like, let's put my character more in there. Why not? Like, maybe that does it. I mean, there was such a response that Square Enix and Final Fantasy, whenever they do conventions, there's a cutout of me. Like, not of me, my character. There's a cutout of Bakool Ja Ja to take a picture with. I'm like, that probably was never the plan. That was probably never the idea to do that. So, like, they put me literally front and center, like the character. When I say me, I mean my character. I need to always make that distinction for people.
I'm with you.
I don't think I'm the character. That's full disclosure. When I say me, I mean my character. I mean the me voicing the character. It's just me. It's easier to say it in a shorthand way.
Yes.
So, and I love that. I love that there's a cutout of the character for people to take pictures with. And then there was also like 11 articles written about it, which I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
Why
I
not?
mean, it absolutely blew up on Twitter/X.
It was the most trended. It was the most trended word for like a couple of weeks. It was like, wow,
and
cool.
A couple of Twitter users made the news.
Yeah. Again, people are allowed to express themselves.
I think what amazed me more from what you've just spoken about is that Square Enix were somewhat able to predict that.
I don't think to that extent. I think they were just thinking it was going to be like, they were like, oh, people are going to like your performance. People are going to like you. That's great. Like, you did such a good job. I think that's what we all thought, that people were going to, because I don't think my character, I feel like my character was like a second tier villain. Like, he's not the main, he's not Zeralja, he's not, he's not the main villain. Yeah. He's like halfway through, hey, defeat him, bye-bye. So I don't think people really, like, I don't think anybody, my character was written to be that popular like that. So I think they were just like, you just did a good job, so maybe people will like it more than we anticipated, but also not to the extent any of us thought.
So when you did get your read, Square Enix are notorious for, I don't mean this in a bad way, spreading out their content between patches quite far in advance. Like, there's maybe 10 quests maximum, main story quests, with each patch. How much of that did you get in your initial read, and how much of you had to go back and record? Or have you recorded all the pre-planned patches already? Obviously, you can't talk about them if they've already been recorded. But how far in advance does that sort of stuff happen?
I just recorded the main thing, and then patches, they call me in depending on when they record them and all that. They kind of do They kind of just take it one item at a time, one patch at a time. They may combine 2 patches if they come out together, but it's pretty much like, here's the main story, then we'll call you back in if you're in different patches, and do it like that. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they have it written. They don't. Like I said, it's all in a different sector of my field, and it's not questions that I particularly ask the team. Because there's already enough to ask and enough to do in my field.
100%.
Yeah. So no, I just recorded the main thing, and then I get brought in for patches if I'm in them or not.
Okay. Well, transitioning onto the second of our voice actor and performance segments now. This one has a pending name of Act 1, Take 1, Panic. So what is the most chaotic or confusing first day that you've ever had on a performance or a voice project?
I love this story. I told this story before. Maybe I can tell a different one, but I'll tell this one and then maybe see if another one pops in. My favorite story was like, I was recording for this video game, who will remain nameless.
Nameless.
And the way that this video game was recorded was I just had my lines. That's it. Didn't know the name. Didn't know the other lines. Didn't know where I was, what I was. Nothing. I just had a list of 100 lines to record. And then I asked, and they were quickly shut it down. So that's when you go, cool, got it. They'll let me know when something needs to be said differently. Got it. My job today is just to say lines and make my best judgment out of it. And then we got to a line that the line was very simple. It was, I don't remember the exact line, but it was along the line. It was like, as if I'm saying, hey, I'm going to pick up eggs at the store. Imagine something normal. Something very, nah, like whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, oh, I'm going to pick up eggs at the store. They're like, oh, do it again. I'm going to pick up eggs at the store. It's not. Okay, one more time. And then we were going so many times of just like me saying it, saying it, and saying it. And then that's when the director eventually goes, it's not working for us, this line. Like, I don't know what's happening. And then he goes, oh, did I mention the character's on fire? And then I'm like, no. But now, I mean, I can give it a go now if you'd like. Then I did the line, and they're like, oh, that's exactly what we wanted. Thank you. And I was like, cool. Awesome.
That'd be a rather pertinent piece of advice for a motive job.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, and then sometimes it's not the actor's fault. Sometimes we don't get told what's happening. You know?
I suppose in their defense, if it can be said that they already know the character, they know the situation, it might not occur to them to completely tell you because they all know, and it's.
And sometimes the director does not know, to be honest, and we're doing it, we're performing, it's not landing, and then the producers who are, the producers or the writer is on the session, face off, muted, kind of just watching or doing their thing as they're here, there, listening. And maybe they will message the director going, and they'll go, oh, actually, like, I guess I didn't explain this. This is actually what's happening. That's why it's not landing, blah, 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 blah. This is the adjustment. And the director goes, oh, we just got word from the client. This is now the direction. So sometimes the director doesn't even know, particularly. And then it's the client later on just brings up the subject, being like, hey, by the way, they're actually like screaming to the person 10 feet away. A lot of times that's what happens. That's one of my main questions whenever I say lines is, how close am I to the actor? Like, how close is my character to the other character? It's like, because it's different if I'm like right here and I'm performing, I'm like, it's a more intimate space. But if I'm in a battlefield, like, okay, I'm giving this Braveheart speech to my men. Okay, well, are the men in a camp? Like, we're in the camp and we're, like, sitting by a fire? Are we like on a horse and I'm speaking to the other horses? Are they like already fighting and I'm trying to like, and a lot of times the script, if you don't get the full script, it won't give you directions on that. So it's also your job as an actor, and also the director's job is to piece it together, because you're trying to figure out this puzzle that maybe you don't have all the information. And most of the time they will tell you. They will be like, "Oh, you're actually in this campsite, like right next to them." Like, "Okay, cool. That changes my performance." Whereas if I'm on a horse going to battle.
Yeah. Oh, that yeah, being not told you're on fire is probably a key point they should have delivered.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many.
Although I'm
crazy ass. There's so many.
trying to think of what situation that you'd need to be on fire and still go out and get eggs.
It was a very like, it wasn't eggs. It was a line that was like that.
I know what you're trying to say.
I need to get eggs. I can't because I'm on fire. If you said that, I would have known what it meant. Any other crazy stories? There's so many, but
I'm sure there are.
So many.
So, how important is a performance director for you to be able to do your job properly?
Extremely. Extremely. But that's on every aspect, and that's on dubbing, that's on camera, that's on directing a play, like doing theater. The director is the one that sees that full picture, that sees everything, sees things that I can't, because I'm so focused on my character, my intention, my relationships. They need to see the full picture. Because also, I'm focused on my character so much, but I also understand I'm not the lead. So at the end of the day, the lead is the shining star. I can steal a scene or two here or there, but at the end of the day, you want to shine the star. You want to shine the story. You want to shine they're taking everything into account. So if I need to be adjusted, I need to trust that my director is going to adjust me. Because, you don't, it's sort of like that, and I don't know if this is going to be a rude thing to say, but it's sort of like whenever I do on camera or an audition and I'm on set, I am matching my acting talent to the leads. Meaning, if I'm on a CW show, I don't know if you do CW or... Yeah. So if I'm on a CW show, and it's about being, no offense to CW, because they have Jane the Virgin, which is an amazing show. That was the only award-winning show they've ever had. Which is an amazing... Gina Rodriguez, another amazing actress that I'm in love... Like, I love my POC women. Like, Stephanie Hsu, Gina Rodriguez. Like, those are my favorite. I think women of color are like the best actors in the freaking world. I think they're so talented. Anyway, that's my little shout out to Gina Rodriguez. She's amazing. Thank you so much. And if I'm on a CW show and it's a particular show that's kind of about being pretty than being talented, which many of those CW shows are about that, I'm not over here doing my scenes thinking I need to be the best actor. I'm over here doing my scenes matching what I feel those stars are going to give, which a lot of those stars are very pretty but really bad at their job at acting, like actual being good actors. That's not their specialty, which is fine. We all have our specialties. Yeah,
100%.
You see certain shows not because they're good acting. You see it because it's funny, or like funny in that sense, or like really good looking people. It's like it's like not every show is Meryl Streep over here.
Like,
so
no disrespect to Keanu Reeves in the slightest, because he's a brilliant actor, but no one went to see Bill and Ted because it had grade A acting in it.
But it makes you laugh and it makes you enjoy yourself, It's like
exactly.
Every movie and every style of show has their purpose. I don't think they're making these CW shows for the purpose of, oh man, I want to showcase this acting, this great directorial, this thing. They're there because we know what the purpose of the show is to give fantasy a lot of times. So that being said, it's like you have to trust your director And yourself, it's like, so when I go in something, I need to have the knowledge that if I'm playing a small NPC, I'm not the star. So I'm here, like, sure, in my mind, you know, Javier's always the star, and like in the character's mind, it's the star, but I'm also like knowledge that I'm here to help build the world. I'm not here to showcase how amazing of an actor I am. I'm here to help structure this world so we can make the leads and the story itself shine. So that's something you need to trust your director, but also have awareness of yourself as an actor. But a director's super important to whether a show, a game goes up or down, in my opinion. The director has so many other jobs just in directing the acting. It's so many hats that they have to deal with.
Yeah, like, cause I know, I don't know if they'd all be on set at the same time, but I know there are quite a lot of different specialties within directing as well. So you got performers, directors, mocap directors.
I mean,
I know
Yoshi
sometimes
P
they're listed as voice directors.
Is a director of everything.
Everything.
Exactly. So you have the game directors, the design directors. There's so many things. And you have to trust that the leaders are leading the right way. You have to trust them. And sometimes they don't, and sometimes they do. But at the end of the day, all you can do is your job, which is, for me, is acting, and try not to insult people on social media.
So have you had the privilege of attending any of the Final Fantasy fan conventions?
I don't think there was any in the United States since my particular character came out.
No, because I think that would be this year coming. Is it something... When I think of people behind the characters going to conventions, the one that always jumps to my mind is when Bryan Cranston was walking the halls of Comic-Con, but in a Walter White mask, and no one knew it was him. And then he did his panel, and then came on stage and took off the Walter White mask, and it was himself. And like anyone that had walked past him during the day then put two and two together that they were actually talking to the person that played the character.
I've gone to fan-based conventions like Gateway Fate on St. Louis, which I'll be back.
Yep.
Luke just went. Your producer just went. It might be tricky for an 8-foot tall, 2-headed lizard. I'm always always putting up the challenge to people, and I'm like, I would love a cosplay of my character. I want to put the challenge.
Uh-oh.
I want somebody to cosplay my character, and I wanna be there. But so far, I've only seen Bakool Ja Ja, where a couple wore like a shirt with two heads sort of thing, with voice of reason, voice of
Well, we will clip this and we will plaster it all over social media, and hopefully someone will respond with.
I'm going to Kupo. I'm going to KupoCon in October. I'm going to in Montreal. I'm going to Gateway Fate in St. Louis, also in October. So I challenge you, fans, cosplay as Bakool Ja Ja. I would love to see it.
You heard the man. Challenge is on.
Challenge is on. And I'll absolutely give you a prize. I'm not sure. Maybe a print. Who knows what I'll do? Yeah, whatever. All good stuff.
An undisclosed prize to be determined.
Because I don't even know it. Because it's undisclosed to me at the moment. So, from my understanding, those particularly fan-based... so I went to Japan in April.
Yep.
And I got to meet the localization team. I got a couple meetings. I went to do a couple meetings with the Final Fantasy team. So I got to meet writers and Koji Fox and localization team. Also, the German localization team was there, which I was like, what's up? I don't speak German, but who knows, maybe if you want to.
Hi.
I'll, I'll, I'm not even gonna try it. Not even gonna say anything. But I'll speak the German. No. So I met them, and then I talked a little bit about FanFest and things like that, and saying, hey, do voice actors typically get involved? And they were like, typically it's more about the creative team. It's about them. It's about panels with them and all that. Rarely, if like voice actors are involved, it's more in like in their own volition, in their own, like out of their own desire to be involved. But it's not in their nature as a company to do that to do partnerships that way. It's more like if they're there, they'll encourage, all that, but they're very hands off when it comes to that idea.
So it's not something they organize themselves, but if you want to go and do your own thing, they're more than welcoming of that.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of like that. So I would love, if it's in Vegas or wherever they're deciding to do it, I would love to do it. I think it would be a lovely opportunity to just meet people and meet fans and do that. But I don't know if it would be in the capacity of me doing things or me just going and, being there as a public figure rather than doing panels, doing signings, doing things like that. Just because they told me that's not their usual, they haven't done it before, to be honest. They told me that's not really what they do. But I've done the fan-based conventions that are designed, like conventions that are organized and designed by fans, like Gateway Fate, KupoCon, that I'm doing this year. I did Gateway Fate last year. I've done other conventions that are more generalized conventions, which were wonderful. So I love conventions. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's so much fun. And I have like a whole... Do I have it with me? Do I bring it out? I can. I have I collect... I have a little corkboard of all the gifts and fan gifts that... And even sometimes they give me their wool, the Warrior of Light, stickers. So I have this whole corkboard of different things that fans have given me over conventions, in my PO box, because I have a PO box with some fans asked to hey, can I send you something? And I'm like, here's not my address, but here's my PO box address. And I have so many things. This was from a fan, which was crazy. I have a body pillow. I have a stuffed animal. So cute. And then I have a whole corkboard over there. And then because a lot of them are artists, so they draw things. The corkboard doesn't fit all of the art. So I have the rest of the art. I have it actually on my fridge.
So would you say
I'm conceited? Yes, you may say that if you want.
The gift you receive most is generally artwork, whether it's of your character or someone's Warrior of Light sticker kind of thing.
Yeah, I've received bracelets, pins. A fan gave me a fan of my character. Body pillow, keychains, posters.
What's the gift that's been most out of left field for you?
Someone designing a stuffed animal of my character is absolutely amazing. And a body pillow of a sexy version of my character was definitely great.
Oh, the body pillow is a sexy version of your character.
Well, very demure sexy, very tasteful sexy, I would say.
Wow. Okay.
But again, I love those things. So, again, it is tasteful enough for me to be able to have it, and if I want to promote the artist or promote me have it with me and show it to people, I can. It's not. Yeah. It's not it's not to the extent of that it should be in the off filter of your Google search. This is still on the blur search.
Wow.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, I'm sure for better or worse, those ones also exist.
I have no idea anything about that, nor am I here to know about it.
Whilst we were arranging this, you did say that you were in the midst of other projects. Are those anything you can talk about right now?
The ones that, I mean, we designed this was like a month or a month and a half ago. So the
Yeah.
ones that I recorded during that time period is way too soon for me to talk about it because
No worries.
that turnaround is rare for that to have
Yeah.
been out. But since I've
Still,
yeah.
are they within the video game market?
Yes, many of them are. Many of them are that. I have anime coming out. I have dubbing. Whew. And then I work all over the field. Not responding to that comment. And then one of the things that I sort of talk about myself and my career that I like about myself is that I like about myself is so freaking conceited. That I like to say it's sort of
I
like
understand what you're saying. Carry on.
is the diversification of my field itself that I like to do. Because sometimes, video games, you may not get some for a while. Or if you do, maybe it's a one-day character. You're there for one session for 2 hours, and it's a small NPC, and I'm like, I can't pay rent with that, unfortunately. That doesn't pay me enough for me to make a living and support my very cushy lifestyle. I'm kidding. The lifestyle I want. How about that? But some of the things that I've done, I do live action dubbing, anime, video games, and then you have commercial work, which is obviously the best paying, easiest best paying there is, but that's more of like a crapshoot because you're auditioning against the world for one little role. So when you get a commercial, it's awesome. Even though I do have a couple out right now, I am
Awesome.
I am the voice of Target. I am the voice of Genesis. I am the voice of Starbucks, and I am the voice of Neutrogena currently. So I do my commercial work, and that pays for my life very well. So I am very happy about that. Very blessed about that. Because I need to make a living. Because I need to eat. Then there's also things like I do audiobooks. My last audiobook, called The 10th Mistake of Hank Hooperman, was named the best audiobook for children for 2020. Four, because we're 25 last year, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful children's book, and people seem to like my performance, so yay. And then, so I love doing audiobooks. It's great. There's things called industrials, which is non-air commercials. Like, it's not commercial work, but it's like a lot of when you get a new job and you get a new job and you're sitting through those videos that go, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. This is what you tell a coworker. This is what you don't tell a coworker. So that's all acting jobs, whether it's on camera or the voiceover aspect. So that's another field of work. I was also the voice of Staples. If when you call them and you go, thank you for calling Staples. Para español, presione el dos. Like, I was the phone, what is it called? AVR? What is it called? There's a specific name. Telephony? That's sort of like, there's a sector of that. Then there's also like political ads. Then there's looping and Walla, which your voice is never recognized, but you build the world of the chatter behind these movies and shows and games, and that's your job. Your job is not to be recognized. Your job is to help build. If there's a Marvel attack scene, you're over there going, oh my god, I forgot to get the eggs at the store. That's your job. But you aren't really understood, so you can say things like that. You shouldn't. But you can say things like that technically because you're not really heard. So there's a million, when people, especially when I train voice actors, things like that, like people who want to get in the industry, I'm like, listen, video games are cool, but I suggest if you want to make this into a full career, diversify yourself, learn different techniques, different traits. I'm talking about this toolbox. I'm talking about because it's a different skill set to do a live action dub to an anime dub and then going into a commercial work and then doing an audiobook. It's like, I highly encourage diversifying because you're able to make a more complete living, and it's also fun.
Yeah.
I would say I love that one day I'm doing a commercial and the next day I'm on a video game set. And the next day I'm telling people how to behave on an accountant firm. Like, I like how much variety is so fun for me. That being said, if I ever, get my own series, or I'm a series regular in like an animated show or on camera, because I do on camera work too. So it's like, if I ever book an on camera job and do that, I mean, like, and it's more full time, and it's more like I have to be there 5 days a week, and I have to like move to Canada for 6 months because that's where they shoot, and blah 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 XYZ, then of course I love that consistency, and that's great, and that's wonderful for also career building. But you can be doing so much until you get your breakout stardom moment, if you want, if that's what you desire out of your career.
That's quite a lot of things that voice acting can go into that people don't necessarily realize falls down to acting.
So much, and I'm even missing a lot of them. Because there's promo, there's even when you like go to Six Flags and you hear, please fasten your seatbelts, blah 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 blah, all that. It's like, or Disneyland or Disney World. It's like, all that is a voice job that somebody did.
See, I always assumed that was one of the employees that just recorded and turned it off.
Sometimes, I mean, depends if you see the quality. If you hear somebody who actually like is good at their job, most likely it's a voice actor. If it's, hey, what's up? Can you please put your seatbelt on now and we can start the ride? Thanks so much. Goodbye. Most likely that's a worker, yes.
Yeah. So you sort of answered this question previously when you said that how you recorded your scenes got Senna back to redo her scenes as Whoop 'em Up. So working title, off script on point. What is the best unscripted line or improvised moment that's ended up making the final cut, or that has totally changed the tone of a scene?
So video games, the writing is law for them. Rarely. You may change sometimes a the to an and to an or. Like, it's like such minor changes that you have control over changing. And even then, the director will go, hey, by the way, to the writer, and the producer be like, we just changed this the to an and. Is that okay? They will ask, and then if not, re-record with the actual. So improvisation for most games, for video games in particular, rare. When it comes to lines, but there's things called pre-life, post-life, breaths, shifts inside those lines. And one of the things where I've had people ask me to write in the print that in my sign, when they go to convention and ask me to sign, one of the things that I got asked a couple times is, can you just write breath, staggered breath? And it's the staggered breath of the cenote scene, particularly, where that was completely semi-improvised. It's improvised in the sense of like delivery and all that, but I knew I wanted to add something in the sense of like, but it's more like it's improvised in the moment. It's sort of like I knew when I was performing that and giving that performance of that particular speech, which is I don't want to ruin it for people, but it's the dead brother, the dead baby scene. You know, the scene we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which somebody did an amazing like tile artwork of it, and one of my keychains is an artwork of that particular scene, and it's so beautiful. That when I was performing it, like I say, I don't like to come in locked in on performance. I want to come in locked in on choices about the journey, the character, my golden nuggets, my cracks, things like that I want to be coming locked in for. But the performance itself, the lines themselves, I want to have free will to play. And it was just that we were just doing that take, and it was in that moment that I'm like, because I did all the work, that it just came out of me, and I'm like, in the moment, I'm like, this feels like a natural, powerful choice to make, was to give that staggered breath, and for that particular moment. And then I did it, and then the director goes, loved it, this is the take, goodbye, we're done. Things like that. That was it. That's the money right there. There we go. What's it called? People do this now or something? I don't know. There's like all these Gen Z, Gen Alpha kids.
I'm not down with the cool kids.
Like a lot of like fans or a lot of people in conventions are younger, and they're like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and they're saying all their lingo, and I'm like, yeah. I got like my first pair when I was in Japan. I got my first pair of like baggy jeans. Because in my generation, skinny jeans was in and popular. And apparently now I'm lame for having skinny jeans, but I still wear them. But now it's the baggy, and I'm like, I saw them, and I'm like, you know what? Let's try it on. And I'm like, I just felt amazing to have all that air flowing, and like felt so like, and I just like hammer dance the entire time, and I'm like, I'm buying this. These are just fun, not for fashion, but they're fun. So I have like, I think I got 2 pairs of like baggy jeans, and I'm like, look at me being a Gen Z, which I'm not at all. Going back to the improvised moment, that was an improvised moment in a way, I would say semi-improvised. Because I did all the work and all the prep work, it allowed me to have an improvised moment. Because I wasn't focused on the lines so much. I was focusing on this journey for this character. But would I have not have prepared and deciphered this character as well? I don't think that moment could have arrived because of it. That makes sense.
But it wasn't a direction that was given to you by Square in any shape or form.
No, usually they don't give directions on breaths and things like that. Maybe they'll, and this is just in regular video games, maybe they'll give you a direction for pre-life, for being like, okay, this line is not coming out naturally. Can you give me a well, or can you give me a what I think, or can you like give me this little line and then give me a space in between so they cut it so the line comes out more naturally? Because some lines aren't written the way that humans, or maybe you and your natural canter come out. So maybe they'll give you some lead in and then cut it out. Or maybe I'll ask, hey, can I pre-life it? Meaning, I don't know, if I'm about to attack you, can I get the breath work going, and then I'll give you a space to cut if you want to keep it or take it out. And then that's up to them whether they keep pre-life or not. They decided to keep that one. But there's many other moments where I did give breaths and I did give things, and they're like, cool, we're going to cut that out, or can you do it again, clean it up? We don't want as much messiness as much. Which, messiness for me is not a bad thing, because as humans, my accent comes out, I stutter, I do a lot. You know, as humans, we do that. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of times I think about bringing into my characters, because especially hyper-realism, which is not Final Fantasy, like Fallout, Far Cry. I think hyper-realistic first-person shooters, things like that, stuttering, stammering, things like that, that's natural for us. So bringing that in brings humanity into a character. It doesn't make it feel like it's a robot just saying lines.
Again, you spoke before about matching a, not derogatory in any means, but a side character to that of the lead, in terms of lifting them up to lift the whole performance. How would that differentiate? Because with regards to Final Fantasy XIV, Dawntrail has been the first part of the game in terms of expansions where the player character isn't the main character. The main character is Wukla Mat.
Yeah.
So how would that change the performance, considering the main character in previous expansions is essentially voiceless? That there is no one portraying that. So how, if that was still the case, how would that have affected how you approached your performance?
So, fun fact I always tell people is I didn't know I was recording for Final Fantasy until halfway through recording everything. Because I've never played it, so I didn't have much time to research outside. Usually I do research, but because it was 200 pages and I had a day and a half to prepare things, plus have a normal life at the same time, or like have, life outside of it as well, I can't be holed up in my apartment just preparing character the entire day. I only had certain number of hours, so I decided to dedicate my hours to preparation of this journey. So I didn't catch and realize what the game was. I didn't recognize anything. If they just would have said Keyblade, I would have gotten it. So it wasn't until I think it was my second session, second half of recording everything, that they saved the file and the file name had the name of the game, and I went and they saved it and it was like projected on my screen. So I was like, okay. And like I said, because there's so much red tape, I just a lot of times don't ask. I just like, whatever you can tell me, tell me. Whatever not, I'm just not going to ask. So then that's when I said, hey, just out of curiosity, can I know what this is? They're like, oh, yeah, you didn't know? And I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, you're in Final Fantasy XIV. And I went, I am so happy that I recorded a lot of this without knowing this, because I feel so much pressure now. Because I was thinking, again, in my mind, I'm thinking it's a small little indie. So I'm like, okay, cool. Nice. So that in mind, I had no idea that, like, even after I knew, I still didn't know that the wall was, like, or the lead character is voiceless, because I never played 14. So it's hard to know what my performance would change, because I wouldn't have even known. Would it have not have been Wuklamat and would have been the player, I would never have known if, like... Because... This is hard to know and hard to say, because in games, a lot of times we don't hear the performance of that lead. So it's hard for me to say, like, this particular thing that I'm talking about, this entity, applies most, I think, to established anime, established animation, established, or like on camera, because I'm literally there with the actors. Yeah. So this applies more to those realms, or maybe an established game, but a lot of times we don't even know the game we're doing, so it's kind of hard to know. And even if we know, maybe we don't play it. So then we get told in person, because a lot of times they don't tell you before. They will tell you in the session. So a lot of times I don't even know what the game is until I go in, unless I can catch the nuggets in the script if they gave me a script. So they may tell me in the actual room, because they don't want to send an email on it, because, emails. Leaks. Yeah. So they're trying to stop all the leaks. Yeah. So suppose when I knew I was recording for Fallout, I never played it. And to be honest, I didn't know the style very well, because I never played it. So it was difficult, and I'm like, and it's always fun when they say the name. A lot of times they tell you what name of the game it is, and you're like, and then they're like, okay, and they give you a pause to like be like, oh my god, yes! And they give you a pause to do that. And I remember they gave me a pause, and I was like, oh yay! And to be honest, I had no idea anything about it. So I'm like, cool. So then sometimes they go, oh yeah, so you get the game, you know what it's about and all that. And a lot of times that's when I go, yeah, I know the game, but give me a refresher. Give me a refresher of how this game works and what the style is, because that could help a little bit. A lot of times, as an actor, you have to like fake it till you make it with many things. So you were said about adjusting yourself. So my answer is I don't know, because
Yeah, makes sense.
I wouldn't have
Not
made
really
different
applicable.
choices probably for this game, just because I'm not familiar with the game, or I didn't know until later for this particular Final Fantasy number. So maybe.
You saying that about not knowing what game and stuff you're into with all the red tape and all the NDAs. I saw a clip of Ben Starr talking to Matthew Mercer about how when he got the role of Clive for 16, and he didn't know until after he'd accepted the job and he's reading through the script. They still hadn't told him what game it was, and it's only because he caught Crystal's Ifrit as, oh, this could be a Final Fantasy, but he still didn't know he had the lead role at the time when he'd already accepted the role, which is like mind-boggling to me. Like the games are kept in that much red tape that the people performing in them
Sometimes you don't
know
have
they're
the
performing
name
in them.
of they. Sometimes even in scripts, when you get the script, you still don't have the name of the actual characters. They'll dummy them. They'll dummy things just because they don't want to say the real name, because they don't want connection. I would say super fans a lot of times know. Like I know Cena knew, because she's a super fan and already played all the game and was already caught up. So I know that she knew everything about the game. But me, little old me that thought it was a gamer, that like I thought I was a gamer this entire time. Now I know that I'm not a true at heart gamer like the gamers of the land.
Yeah, some of us live and die by the games.
Which I thank you all, because you're the reason I can have a life. So thank you for providing me to be able to do this as a career. So I'm super grateful. I need the ride or die gamers, please.
That is another question. Obviously, with TV shows like Big Bang Theory and stuff, characters get paid. Sorry, the actors get paid per episode, and then they get X amount for reruns and
Residuals,
stuff.
yes.
That's how does that work in? Is that the same for like animes that you dub over, or is it just a set fee, you do your lines, or is it just generally depend?
I haven't had an instance where an anime or a video game has paid me residuals. It's always per day. In whatever scale, standard, rate they offer, and that's it. So, an anime is known as.
How about for commercials?
And also anime is known as one of the lowest paying acting jobs there is. So working in anime, you most likely can't afford a living if you work on it 5 days a week. It'll be really difficult.
Wow.
That being said, of course, if your anime has quote unquote fame and you get conventions and you do this and that, like all that, you supplement your income. But we don't, for anime, from me at least, anime video games, I have yet to ever get paid, and it's not part of my contracts to get paid beyond that day rate.
Yeah.
Commercials, depends if it's union, non-union, depends on what the usage is, if it's just going to be run digitally, if it's going to be run nationally, TV, radio, all that. All of that has different rates and different things, whether it's like you're clumping 8 commercials for this one brand and they want to pay you once for all 8, which is crazy, but they want to do that. Or if they're going to pay you for each one differently. So commercials, yes, has residuals, but sometimes it's a buyout residual, and sometimes they buy you out for that segment. They buy you out for 3 months.
Yeah.
So it varies, but obviously that one is better pay usually than what anime and video games usually pay. Like a lot better.
Just a couple more things before we start drawing this to a close. I've got another little. So these next segments, not geared towards voice actors. These are just general segments I target everyone with. So you're not the first victim to fall to these ones. So this one is called "The Crest Rewards Are Broken." So what is the dumbest reward you've received for something that felt like a major accomplishment, or the biggest reward that you've received for something that felt like a really small achievement?
Oi. Has to be at acting, or can it be about my normal life?
No, just anything. It's just this goes to like, it's a callback to the time where like you're doing a fetch quest in an RPG or something, and then you get given a piece of gear that you can't even wear.
Or like
That's sort of the inspiration for this.
the most anticlimactic trip ever, I think. What was it? What was an anticlimactic trip that I've done? Ha! I mean, oh no, this is gonna upset people, so I will not say this one. It's a particular place I visited and everybody like hyped it up, and everybody was like, this particular city in this country I visited, and then everybody hyped it up, and everyone told me it was the most amazing thing, it was the most amazing food, it was the most like, oh, so lively, so great, all that, and I like went and I was so disappointed beyond belief, and I was just like I was just like Debbie Downing the entire. I was like,
Wow.
like this. I was like, I judged all my friends who told me about this place. I like came back and I'm like, so you have poor taste in traveling. That's what I'm getting out of this. I was like, so I mean that comes to my mind. I will not
Yeah,
say
definitely
that city.
Definitely applicable.
Is there a game that I was so disappointed with by the end? Or so rewarded with by the end? Is there any game that... That's such a question. I don't know. I feel like even when I play Monopoly, I already know I'm going to be disappointed, so I feel like I come in with good expectations.
Well, I'd definitely say your first answer definitely applies to that question, even if you don't name the location.
Oh, well, I saw... I don't know if this is just random, but I saw Aubrey Plaza's indie film, My Old Ass. That's the name. And I came in thinking it was going to be like one of her dumb, funny movies. And it was actually a tearjerker, and I came out of the movie going, wow. I'm like, wow, that actually was a lot better than I expected. And then you see movies
Fair
and
enough.
you always go, wow, I just wasted 2 hours of my life. I think I saw like Clockwork Orange for the first time, and I was so disappointed because of everybody talking about this and that. And I just was like, why am I here for 2.5 hours? Why is this people's favorite film? I don't understand this. I don't know.
But
I feel like it can be
suppose
it can be
that's,
a slippery slope for me to say that. If we talk about the negative ones.
Yeah, but that's. I feel that can come down a lot to situation and time, though, because I'm sure in
At the time, I bet yes.
10, 20 years' time,
Yes. But I'm talking about people
People are
my
gonna
age
feel the
that say
same-
that, and I'm like,
yeah,
but you were.
but people are going to feel the same way about The Matrix. But when it was released
True.
for us, it was well ahead of its
You're
curve.
right. The Wachowski siblings are up. Like would dream director team. Would love to work it with. I love Sense8. I love Cloud Atlas, even though I know the opinion about Cloud Atlas. I like The Matrix. Whoops.
Hold my hands up. I enjoyed the very last one that came out.
I enjoyed it. Listen, I enjoyed it. I think Sense8's
it wasn't-
sensational.
It definitely wasn't on. Like if they released all four back to back to back, I'd be like, what is this even doing here?
I saw all back to back because
But-
I don't think I've ever seen like the second and third. I think I only saw the first one back in the day. So I remember it's like me seeing John Wick.
Fair
I
enough.
saw all four at one go. And then I
Fair
just saw
enough.
Ballerina like 2 days ago, and I enjoyed it.
That's on my
I
list.
enjoyed it. Ana de Armas is Fantastic, phenomenal actress.
So your next question, it's your RPG super party. So you get to pick your RPG little group, your tank, your damage, your mage, and your healer. So we've had some very, very good answers for this. I know you've said you're not as much of a gamer as you thought you did.
My answer will be different anyway.
But I am sure you can pull four excellent names out of your head for this one.
All right, so my mage will be Stephanie Shu from Jobo Jaboki or whatever from Everything Ever All at Once. Like, obviously, like that's a mastermind that can turn everything into nothing into everything, and like bring me a bagel at the end. So I'm down for that. Is it Jobo Jaboki? What, I don't know. Whatever her name was.
We'll find it.
Fantastic character. So I'll do that as my mage. My tank, who can take all the damage. Ooh, who would I want as my tank? Who can take all the damage? Oh, Jobu Tupaki. I was close. Jobu Tupaki. There we go. My tank, someone that can take all the damage. I will pick... I know. I'm going to pick Snorlax.
Excellent choice.
Because that's my favorite Pokemon.
Excellent
and
choice.
I feel like Snorlax knows how to take anything from anyone and not give a crap about it.
You are the first person to say a Pokemon.
You're welcome.
I thank you.
And then I have a fighter, right? A DPS. Since I'm a DPS, I guess.
Yeah, a DPS and then a healer.
Oh, and a DPS and a healer.
/ support.
Okay. So a DPS. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna go to Neji from Naruto as my DPS because that's still another one of my favorite characters, and I think all the palms and everything. I feel like he's so stubborn and he's so conceited and full of himself that he'll be good at fighting people. Which I guess that also, as you can tell, my favorite, all my favorite characters are all very like full of themselves people. Snorlax, sleeping all day, full of himself. Jobu Tupaki knows that like she's the deity of everything. Neji is like such an a-hole. And healer. So I guess I should pick someone nice. Should pick like a nice person to round it out. Who is someone that has like can do no wrong as a healer? Who can heal?
Well, healer / support. It doesn't strictly have to be healer. Because healer pigeonholes this quite a lot.
You know what? I feel like this person can support, but they're gonna steal the show. But they're gonna support you. But they're gonna be like fantastic as like providing comical support and make you feel good. I'm gonna go with Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek.
Very nice. I'm still impressed that it's taken this many episodes for someone to name a Pokemon.
I went all over. I went like on camera, Pokemon, anime. Why not?
And I am honestly surprised for your tank or DPS you didn't pick Bakool Ja Ja.
Well, I feel like if I pick my own, I feel like everyone's like, I think I did like I did a charity a while ago. It's like it was last year, I think. And then we did a segment called, I don't know, it was like Tinder, video game Tinder or something. And then, of course, eventually they put Bakool Ja Ja in there, and I actually swiped left on Bakool Ja Ja. I said no, and I was like, because he's not ready. He's not ready for this. He is not ready. He's a baby in his emotional journey. He needs therapy and he needs emotional support too much. And I don't want to deal with all that trauma right now.
Well, that does lead very nicely onto my last segment. It's called NPC Date Night. So if you could take a NPC or character out from an RPG or MMO on a date, not necessarily romantic, just for an activity, who would it be? What would you do? And the activity is restricted to the world that they are from or the real life world.
Oh. So,
Like a caveat, it does not have to be a romantic date. Just for a couple of examples for you, we've had someone say that they'd take Lagiacrus, which is a monster from Monster Hunter, and go surfing. A previous guest have said they'd take Balthea, who is voiced by Gideon Emery. He's a character in Final Fantasy XII. They'd just go for a drink in a bar. That's the sort of answers that we've had so far. And we've had one person say that they'd like to take Y'shtola out from 14 as our first romantic answer. Take her out for a nice picnic.
Listen, I'm a sucker for someone that will stumble and like trip over themselves, and I'm a sucker for like the nerd that gets pulled in like a cool situation but like stumbles awkwardly through. I love awkward people. It's like it's my favorite. So I will take Bakool Ja Ja out, and I would want to go to a salsa dancing class with Bakool Ja Ja, because I just feel like it would be hilarious, and Mighty would get so frustrated having two left feet and not figuring it out. But eventually we can do, because I know that Bakool Ja Ja is so strong, eventually we can do the moment from like what's the movie called? It's the Dirty Dancing move.
Dirty Dancing.
Just like woo!
Excellent. Does that count as self-care? Oh dear.
I never said I wouldn't want Bakool Ja Ja as like in my posse. I just don't think he's ready to be in relationships. He is damaged goods right now.
He is not. He does not have the emotional intelligence to navigate a meaningful relationship just yet.
Not yet.
Oh, not putting this out there, but if anyone on the back of this happens to draw yourself and Bakool Ja Ja at a salsa dance, I would like to see it.
A Dirty Dancing moment.
Yep.
Shoot, draw me being like, I want to see a fan draw me getting lifted by Bakool Ja Ja in a Dirty Dancing moment. But please be generous on my part of the drawing, please. Make me look good, please.
Oh, that is excellent.
That was one of my like when I did a Anime Impulse in Anaheim. That was my first convention, which that was a crazy story of how I had to set that up, because the character came out for like a week or two, and I never in my life even known anything about conventions. And they asked me to do a convention that was like 3 weeks away, a month away, and I was like, they're like, oh yeah, and then I was like, had to get prints. I'm like, that was a stressful month to figure out how conventions work and what I needed. And then Colin Ryan and Luis Bermudez stepped up, and they were my guiding dads for the thing. Like they like guided me. But point being, when we did Anime Impulse, this was with Louise, Cena, Spencer, and me, one of the two.
Well, you've got two heads to fill.
Me, I, and myself. That was actually a very big conversation topic in recording sessions, was how Bakool Ja Ja referred to himself as they, I, him, them. There was constant, and we continuously made changes to scripts to do what made sense in what interpretation that the moment was, because I do believe Bakool Ja Ja refers to themselves as them and him, and also I and we. Complete, like, there is constant struggle even with him. There's a line, I remember there's a line that it's like I, we, whatever. It was like a line where even he confused himself with how to refer to himself as. Anyway, but we did this, and then we did a panel together, and one of the fans, there's like this iconic moment where like Spencer's hugging Louise, I'm hugging Spencer, Cena's over here doing the move from Final Fantasy XIV in the side, and then somebody drew our characters as like our clothing and all that, doing that like particular pose, and it was beautiful. It's like such a beautiful drawing.
That's awesome. So just a couple very quick things before we wrap up. Do you have a favorite line for Bakool Ja Ja? Whether that's a favorite line because of the line or everything else that's attached to it and the delivery you had to give.
Oh my gosh.
Not asking you to repeat it in character or anything, but is there, like, if someone asks you that, and I'm sure you get asked it a little bit at conventions, is there a individual line that always jumps to the forefront of your mind?
Yes, and I'm actually gonna pull it up because it is. I know the second half of the line, but I cannot remember the first half of the line. Oh, I have a list of quotes that I have for fans to see when they want to get a print because, you know.
Yep.
Oh.
Staggered breath.
That's one of the favorites. I remember the second half, but the first half, it is like, it says a cenote, and it's one of the line is, if we are blessed, it is only because we yet live. And it's talking about the brothers and sisters that did not make it. I remember recording, and the reason I think it was, I just remember saying that line in the recording booth. The speeches of that scene, but that particular line, and it felt so, I had dug into that character and went so deep inside of what that trauma and what that experience must have been for him to grow up being reminded of this and living through this, that I just remember recording that particular scene, and I started breaking down myself. Like, the character broke down, but then that's one of those improv moments you're talking about. I did all the research and all the work that I allowed myself to let go, and I, playing Bakool Ja Ja at the moment, started breaking down about it. And even when we finished recording it, I had to take a couple minutes because I was just sobbing. And then it was like,
understandable.
And I was breaking down, and it's, and then the director was like, all good. And I was like, all good. And then, you want to go again? And I said, I was like, we can. And then we did it. I mean, we actually didn't date. We did one more take, but to be honest, the final product was that first take I ever did. That scene was that first take. The other ones were solid, but it was something about that raw journey that I was able to give myself permission to go through in that part, that was the take. And I knew that. I was like, we're always going to need a safety in case something happened, especially like, because it's voice, so there's always like technical issues with mics and things like that. There's pops, there's things that happen, so then you have to have safeties. But if the first take was usable, we already knew that was it. That was money.
Very good.
The one thing we never touched on the thing was one of the things that this character means so much to me was because of my representation of Latin culture. And the representation of Latin culture in this particular game, the first time having Latin culture authentically represented, a large part of it, and getting to authentically cast these actors to portray these Latin-inspired characters, is such a big step towards what I believe is the right step in representation for video games and animation. And I mean, there's a lived history that happens as Latin culture, especially immigrant Latin culture, that I lived through in my history, that I was able to tap in, particularly with Bakool Ja Ja, with the pressures of what it's like to have immigrant parents, demanding immigrant parents. I love my parents, by the way. It's like I'm very close to them. And they're wonderful, wonderful human beings. But what it's like to come to the United States and pursue the American dream and make it in a brand new country as an immigrant, as a low income immigrant at the time, to further yourself and be a part of society, and similar to what Bakool Ja Ja had to experience as a child of a very demanding father, that like sort of primed him and molded him and almost like set him up to just be this perfect figure and entity, and this expectation and pressure and putting on this pedestal. And that's so relatable as in Latin culture, but then incorporating Latin aspects, like obviously the tacos, we all know about that, but the tropes and the tropes that Latin cultures typically have, like mi rey is called my king, when you're the only child and you get put in that pedestal, or you're the firstborn. That's particularly Zoraal, and what the emotional backlash that happens with being raised that way. The child that's forgotten, like, you know, the baby of the family. But in Latin culture, that's very true. That baby of the family that kind of gets tossed aside and doesn't really get considered or accounted for, because you have the older brothers who have it all, who you feel are better than you and deserve more, wuklamat. And you have like in immigrant culture, particularly, you get sent to boarding school, you get sent away, you get sent to study a different culture because you know, you want to, your parents ship you away to a different culture to be better. And that's very common for immigrants from parents of foreign countries. And there we have Kona. So how I feel authentically they got so many quote unquote stereotypes, but coming from reality of things that I've experienced, things that friends of mine have experienced, being the boarding school child of Latin culture. This also applies a lot to Asian culture, to many other cultures as well, that it happens to them. I think that was such a great opportunity, and they took it, Square Enix, and went really far and did a really good job to authentically and represent it in a very ethical way, in a way that also a lot of people connected to it. Because I've had a lot of fans who are from Latin culture and people who are not from Latin culture come up to me and share their story of what particularly the cenote and what it's like to be that child and what it's like to experience things like that. And they talk about some of their trauma, some of their things they've encountered, and how my character brought up a lot of healing for them because they could see a reflection of it, and how my character dealt with it, and dealt with it in a way that can have a positive outcome, that has a redeeming quality, a healing quality to it. And now he like fights for good, as we know. Well, his way of fighting for good. And And that was one of the most beautiful things that I think is so special to me about this particular character, is the opportunity to do that. And it's also, how fun is it? It's super fun to play two different voices, one heart, two heads. It's great.
It's the opposite to Doctor Who. So, with such a big company and a big franchise, they've embraced the Latin culture for Dawntrail. For Final Fantasy XVI, they flat out said it will be primarily voiced in English and then dubbed into Japanese. They went the complete reverse.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so they recorded it primarily in English. It's set like stylized English fantasy, medieval kind of thing. Do you think, because they have taken such a forefront in this, that it's going to, not obviously overnight, but do you think it's going to be more the norm now? Like, don't get me wrong, there are some very talented voice actors who are very, very gifted with the types of dialects and accents they can portray.
Yes, but your lived history and being able to represent that, in my opinion, there's a lot of Caucasian actors that
100%.
wrongfully shouldn't have been done into that. And the thing is, if we're to do blind casting, that's a beautiful concept, to do blind casting like Hamilton. But here's the thing. It's always blind casting benefiting Caucasian actors. They get to play that. It's rarely like, a lot of times I get called in for characters and my name is Javier. I get called in for characters in a world that, there's all different races, and I get called in for the Latino characters. I get offered the Latino characters. So it's not reversed. And that's the issue I'm having. It's like, that's the issue a lot of us have. It's like, if we want to do blind casting, awesome. But it needs to be equal then. It needs to be reversed as well. It can't just be these extraordinary Caucasian actors who just play minorities. These minorities, we can play other different races as well. So it's like acting is acting. I'm like, yes, but privilege is privilege.
Yeah. I saw a clip from Fluffy, who was he was very excited about getting the chance to voice Speedy Gonzalez in the new Space Jam film, and they said, "Oh, can you?" I don't know why they asked him this, but they asked him if he could do a Mexican accent. Like, they asked him if he could speak Mexican and do the whole thing, and the way he told it is he went on to do every other character voice on top of Speedy's and said they could just fire everyone else and just have him do the whole show. But it's outstanding, and Fluffy is not only a mega talented stand-up comic, he is a very talented voice actor in his own right. I always feel a bit dubious discussing these topics because I never know which foot is going to land in the hot water, and I don't want to offend anyone.
I haven't said anything that shouldn't be said.
No.
I've had the opportunity to play plenty of Caucasian roles. Just because I mean, there's even a role that I played where in session the director goes, yeah, because I'm full on Latino. I'm literally not from this country, but as we can tell, there's very different shades and colors to what Latino people can look like, and different roots.
Yes.
So so the director saw me and automatically assumed I'm fresh shaven. I'm over here like this. I didn't spend time in the sun for a while. So automatically assumed I was Caucasian, and then he goes, yeah, and then I literally go, you do know my name is Javier, right? And then he goes, oh, I guess, yeah, that makes sense. And I said, cool. But I mean, most actors who are people of color can play other races as well. Now, whether that is okay to play a specific other race, I feel like it should always be okay to play Caucasian, regardless of your race. But whether I will step in a role of a different minority, most of the time, no. Most of the time, I don't want to take a job for somebody who deserves to be authentically represented by somebody else. So there's certain things that I will not step in. And I feel like there should be more actors with more boundaries when it comes to that. That yes, you can play many things, but should you play many things? You can do it, and I could do it too. But is it correct?
Yeah.
Not always. It's not always the correct choice. Especially because some of these actors have large careers behind them already.
Yes.
That it's unnecessary to do it.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to that. Is it are they at a point in career where they don't need the job, or are they at a point in the career where they still need to put money into
and then a lot of some
But
people
again,
are horrible
there's
with their
still the moral-
finances, and they can be the most famous person, but they're just like don't know how to track their money. Like they're just not savvy at all with finances. That's with anyone.
Yes, it does confuse me that I see many famous celebrities who go bankrupt, and I can't comprehend how that's even a possibility when they could potentially earn more money than I'm going to earn in my lifetime from just one
but
film.
also sometimes like these famous video game or anime actors, unless they're doing conventions, just bear in mind we don't ever get any residuals, so we actually don't make as much as people want to believe. You just have to be smart with your money, I would say. But also, people also have different responsibilities. Some people have kids, some people have elderly parents, have a pug with its own complications. It's like people do have they have health issues. They made really poor financial choices buying a house where they're not supposed to. It's like, life history. So, sometimes maybe they do have the money, but they literally have to funnel it into maybe medical procedures that they need to get done, and that's where their money needs to go. Or elderly parents that have certain problems as, age happens.
Unfortunately, it does. Can't stay 18 forever. Don't think I'd want to stay 18. Maybe about 25.
18?
Actually.
No, thank you. I like the current decade I'm in. It's a very good decade for me to be in. I feel like the decade previously was figuring out a lot. Was just a lot of figuring out, a lot of who am I? What am I? All these things. How do I fit in this world? And I feel like I finally fit into a confident stride where I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty confident in who I am. That's cool.
It's one more step than most of us have managed to figure out.
I'm still growing and learning. It's just, I feel pretty good about my life.
So just quick, you just mentioned conventions. You just reminded me of a question that I forgot to ask. When it comes to conventions and signings and prints, all that stuff, that's not provided to you, is it? That comes out of your own pocket?
Yes.
Yeah. So the amount of times that I've seen how can they charge £40 for an autograph? And it's like, well, they're not charging £40 for the autograph. They're charging £40 for the autograph, the cost to get it printed, their time,
the commission to the artist, all the equipment to charge it, the stuff, a lot of the logistics of do you have a store? So what comes into getting a store? So that store and all that. And also it's we also want to, what do you value yourself in a way? Because if I'm charging 20 and the person next to me is charging 40, I'm a match. I want to be valued. I want to be valued at the caliber of my co-stars, my colleagues that I work with. So if I'm over here charging 20 and they're charging 50 or 40, well, I'm gonna charge that. And that's just but we also want to make it worth our time going to conventions, because like we said, we're not getting paid that much for the job itself. So this is a lot of times where that income is coming, and suppose it's a dry season for us and we're not getting as much anime and video games or commercials, things like that. Maybe our sole source of income at the moment are these conventions. Thankfully, like I said, I diversified my career enough to have more security and be able to diversify a little better. But some actors don't. Some actors is, I just do video games. That's all I want to do, which is great. Do your thing.
Fair enough.
You know, do your thing. I'm not here to stop you. Like, if it works, awesome. Like, that's amazing. I like it because I like keeping my feet on my toes, whatever the saying is, and I like having the variety.
You're not staring at the same four walls, theoretically speaking.
And it's also like we want to make it so 20. Also, like, think about a lot of people are selling their artwork for 25, 30. Their artwork itself, like Artist Alley. So it's like, okay, well, I don't want to sell my autograph for $10. It's like, what is fair in, like, community? Like, what has been set as a standard for community? And of course, I mean, there's some, when you get to a point, and some people have different deals, like, oh, I have this little postcard, this is 15, all this and that. And for me, it's like, in a way, it's like, a lot of times I'm selling my autograph, I'm selling the experience, not really selling the print as much. If I have beautiful prints, so I'm always, like, I'm proud of all my prints. And then some people, have their Funko Pop, but also a lot of people, not for me, because I'm not that famous, but a lot of people, like, will come and get 10 Funko Pops signed because they're flipping it.
And you know 9 of them, or all of them, are going to end up on eBay.
And so you're selling your autograph for 20, whereas they're selling your autograph Funko Pop for 100. Again, I'm not that famous. I'm talking about, like, other people, other really famous voice actors.
That's where the one item per person rule comes into play.
I mean, I don't. I mean, if they want to buy that many, that's fine. But Funko Pops are always priced much higher than an autograph, because they know they're doing that. And I'm like, I don't mind people doing that. I'm like, as long as you pay for every single one,
Yeah.
But I mean, we also know that that's what's happening a lot of times. Not for me. Like I said, I'm very niche. I feel like Bakool Ja Ja is niche right now. It's not a household name whatsoever.
Not yet.
That would be funny if it becomes one.
Be excellent. Just one final question. If you could pick any role ever to either live act or voice a character, who would you like to either have or have had the opportunity to perform as?
Okay, so we already have to go through the ones that I already talked about. So we have Jobu Tupaki already, obviously. They're all anti-heroes mainly. Sasuke, already covered that one, anti-hero. Snorlax, already covered that one, the true anti-hero of the world. Roles that I love. We talked about me being in horror films. I would love to be in horror films. I like think it's so fun to, like, gorily scream and die. It's just such a fun activity.
Could flip it. We could get Bakool Ja Ja to be.
We cannot kill him. Let's not kill him.
No. Get Bakool Ja Ja to be one of the killers in Dead by Daylight.
Ooh, come on, guys. Get it again. Get him famous again. Put him in Dead by Daylight. Roles that I've loved. For me, it's not so much as those are great roles, but for me, it's more like types of roles, styles. It's not that I get bored quickly. It's just that I like variety. So I would love to do a shonen, like, anime and either play the villain or the hero and, like, go through what that journey is like in, like, an anime. But I also love slice of life, like Your Name, Fruits Baskets, Yuri on Ice. I love these animes. So it's like I'd love to go through and do the romance and know what it's like for that character and go through a journey like that. Video games, the same thing. I love fantasy. I love high fantasy. So it's like Kingdom Hearts anytime to be in that game. That would be a dream. So it's sort of
So something in Kingdom Hearts.
something in Kingdom Hearts. I already told them already on session all the time. Every time I'm on session, be like, by the way, if Kingdom Hearts is an
Kingdom Hearts
opening,
4. If you need anything.
please, anytime. I'll play a
voice
Heartless,
grunt.
a random Heartless, somewhere around there. Don't care, whatever you need me as. Yeah, I think I don't like limiting myself, so it's like that, and also it's the same for on camera. It's like I would love to be in a Daniels film, like Everything All at Once or Swiss Army Man, things like that. I love the Wachowski siblings and like their work. I love Woody Allen, even though it's a complicated topic, but that's great. Tarantino, it's like all these amazing things and jobs. I would love to do a sitcom because I love multicam comedy. I think it's beautiful. I got to be in some comedies, not multicam. I'm in Grace and Frankie and get to work with Jen Fonda, which was a dream come true. But that was single cam, so I never got the experience to do multicam yet. So it's like I don't really particularly have this is my dream role. I think it's more like I would like variety in life. And I think that's also how kind of
Makes
like
sense.
how I live my life. Like I'm a captain of a dodgeball league, like a dodgeball team, like I do that. And then my other sport I do is kickboxing. And then, it's like travel, read books. It's like game and like watch anime, but also like the artsy fartsy films. It's like I've never been the person. I've always been told I spread my butter too thin, pretty much. That's sort of like a lot of me. It's like I like to do a lot, but I like being good in a lot of things. But I like to do a lot of things. Like I love to scuba dive, so I got scuba dive certified. I'm a scuba diver,
Oh,
so I feel like that's how I live my life a little bit.
yeah, my dad took me scuba diving.
It's fine.
Went to go in Malta, and he's like, "Oh, we'll just do." He's got like advanced open water or whatever
So
it is,
hard.
just
So
before dive
expensive.
master. And he's like, "Right, well, we'll take you. You can do the trial course, see if you like it, and then do what you want for the rest of the trip." And I ended up enjoying it so much, he paid for me to get my open water and my advanced open water all in 1 week.
It's a beautiful thing. It's just so like
It's
like
awesome.
my certification is expired because it's been so many years. Because it does get pricey to rent the equipment, to get the place, to just get recertified. But so now what I do a lot of times is I do snuba or snorkel. But snuba, which is like you don't need to be certified, but you're still like underwater, you can still go to the bottom, but it's not as freeing as scuba. You still have like a cord
Yep.
attached to you.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time than is necessary. We've detracted and detoured from many, many conversational points
That's
that
me.
were intended to be spoken about.
That's me.
It's better. No offense to your line of work, but it's better than sticking to a script sometimes.
That's me as a human. I tangent all the time, but I bring it back.
Have
But I
you-
tangent. I'm such a tangenter.
Have you got any appearances or anything that people might want to or need to know about coming up in the near future that you are allowed to talk about? Bear in mind, this will probably be coming out towards the middle of July.
Noted. You're welcome to follow me on Blue Sky, on X, Twitter, on Instagram, on my website, on my Discord. Come join me on the streaming. When I stream the game, when I do, go back to streaming, because that's the goal. Go back to streaming. I always do my dungeons with fans and viewers. So come lead me on a dungeon, because I'm going to get lost a lot. Like, way too much. So all that social media, fun. And then conventions coming up. So far, I have 2 this year. I have KupoCon in Montreal in October. I think it's the second to last week, third week, and then Gateway Fate in St. Louis. That is the second week, I believe, of October. So they're back to back. And currently, right now, you have Final Fantasy out, but my newest credits that I have is Watcher of Realms. My first playable character is Fenris, an evil. I'm a bad guy as always, an evil centaur, who's a very fun voice, very gruff and 40 years old, which is not me, but that's my type is gruff. Gruff and angry, as we can all tell. That's who I am as a person. Very gruff and angry. You can see me in Reverse 1999 as Galeno and a bunch of other characters, which I'm a good guy for once. And then I play other bad guys, but I'm a good guy for the first time in a very long time. Let's see. What has come out that I can talk about? Is that it for now? There's currently 4 or 5 projects that come out literally in July. So by the time this comes out, maybe I'll have announced those if they have come out. And then there's a couple that have come out like September, October that I'm aching to talk about because they're really cool things.
And the big one next year.
The big one next year that you know about? Maybe. We'll see.
Well, when if any red tape gets cut between now and I'd probably say second week of July, we can always throw some links and stuff into the description.
See.
If not, there will be no links. If it's possible, there will be links. I
guess
know.
Genshin Impact. Yeah, right. I am the permanent NPC of Akadal in Genshin Impact. So if you're a Genshin player, forgot that one. If you're a Genshin player, I am the chief of the newest land. So there's a and I play yet another elderly, not gruff in bad way, but like an elderly. I'm like a luchador with silver hair and like white mustache and very luchador vibes, but not Latino.
Excellent.
Just happens to look like a luchador, but nothing Latino about it, which I found really funny. And that one was a really fun voice. And so there's many quests with that character. That one's in it a lot for the newest patch.
Excellent. Well, hopefully we'll be seeing Bakool Ja Ja through the whole of this expansion, and hopefully a little bit in the next one. I don't know where things are going.
Me neither.
I mean, this expansion has still got a good couple of years life left on it, so hopefully we'll see you all the way to the end.
You have to bring the thirst back.
I'm sure it'll happen.
Oh yeah, and if you want to, I don't tell people that much about it, but if you want to buy a print and me to do an online signing, I'm on Streamily. If you'd like a video, I'm on Cameo, which I don't tell people. I actually haven't properly announced it. I've only announced it in interviews. I haven't actually made a single post about it. I should. So I've only randomly have gotten every once in a while a cameo. They're like, I found you! And I'm like, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah. I don't know. It's like I'm feeling like it's always that weird moment where I'm like, cameo. I don't know how I feel about this yet. But
well, announce it now. We'll clip it and we'll throw it up on social media and we'll do all the hard work.
Some of them are really like some of the cameos I've gotten are really, really fun. Like they have some creativity to them. And then if you ever want to send me a gift on hard like mail, I have my PO box because some people do ask. Which is random.
We will throw that in the description as well. All the links to all your social medias.
I actually don't have that on social media as well. Again, it's so. It's not that I'm bad at social media. Social media just scares me.
Yeah, it's even trying and attempting to maintain this podcast on social media is exceedingly overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, and a lot of times it's like I'm either on set or I'm doing 15 auditions a day, which takes about 5 hours, and then I'm trying to go play a dodgeball game with my team. It's like, it's so... And I'm not the person that like, you know, like I give the vibe that like I care and I want to try. So it's like I'm not the person that's gonna like type something real quick and send it. I'm like, what do I say? How do I say it? What are they gonna feel? So like I overthink a lot. So a lot of times I stop myself from posting. And suppose like I went to Japan, I met with the team of Square Enix. I haven't told anyone on social media about it. But again, when I'm on interviews or stream, I'd say it because it's happened. And then I'm like, something's stopping me. You know, it's like I think it's just in the last 7 months with something that happened that I don't want to talk about. It's vicious, and it scares me because it's not my style of life. I'm a pretty positive person, and I'm a real person. I like to be very candid, and I don't like that viciousness that's been happening in many directions. Like even politics, it's getting very vicious, and
the world's getting a little bit too negative for none of the right
I've never
reasons.
been a social media heavy person before even this game came out. Like it's never been my particular cup of tea is social media because of how it always feels it just feels a little scary how a stranger attacks people, and like it's always been a struggle for me. So, and I'm very honest about it. Like it's not that I abandon people or like I don't care. It's just I'm always just a little hesitation's always with me with social media. I can't wait for the day where I'm famous enough that I can just hire a social media manager and voila, there it is. You do it. Exactly.
No, not my problem anymore.
I'll do my daily, hey gang, hey Bakool Ja Ja Nation, how we doing?
But yeah, we will get all the links that you would like in the description of the episode. Anything you want listed, Twitch, Discord, website, PO Box, Cameo, Streamly, the works.
If you want, I mean, I also like people want to search for it, or people can always like tag me on something. Oh yeah, and if you want me in a convention nearby, the reason I got into KupoCon was because I got requested by a lot of fans. They reached out to KupoCon, so then KupoCon reached out to me. So I'm saying it's like if you would like me, meet me in a convention. I'm a nice person, I think, to an extent. That's the best way. Is like tag them or reach out, get a couple of like get your FC, and like everyone just sends an email or everyone requests, and that's like a very nice way to get them noticed. If you want like specific people, hopefully that specific person is me, but I get it.
And it does let the convention runners know the genuine interest that is there. But yeah, that is where we're going to leave this side quest. A very big thanks to yourself, Javier, for joining me at the tavern and officially becoming the first guest to have a voice cooler than my entire character build.
You're cool.
So yeah.
Thank you.
My character build has been all over the
Chef
place.
Monkey, Luke. If I can say that name, if not, we clip it out. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for reaching out and setting this up. I'm grateful. I love doing interviews, so this is great.
Awesome. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, do the usual bits, like, comment, share it with your free company, or tell us which NPC voice lines live rent-free in your head. Bonus points if it is Bakool Ja Ja with staggered breaths.
Smash that like and subscribe to Chef Monkey.
Next week we're going to be back at the tavern with more chaos, more guests, and even can't even get my words out today. We'll be back at the tavern with more chaos, more guests, and even fewer main quests completed, and you won't want to miss it. But for now, we have reached our save point. We'll see you next time, and remember, every great adventure starts with a side quest.